What's going on? It's Dman. Breaking down the Western Conference side of the NBA playoffs this year. You're looking at the bracket right now. I did an Eastern Conference video earlier this week. I did pick the Heat to go to the NBA Finals. But in the West, it's different because, in my opinion, looking at this bracket, it's honestly wide open. That's just my opinion. I think anybody could come out the West. There's no distinct team that's just overpowering everybody. I'll tell why in this video. But I'm going to just start with Oklahoma and Houston and work my way down. Oklahoma and Houston. Okay, I actually have OKC moving on because they're a dangerous team in the playoffs. Houston, they have a good team too. I remember in the OKC and Houston game in the regular season, James Harden lit OKC up. But this will be a fun matchup. I'm going to just have OKC moving on. Like I said, it's just dangerous in the playoffs. Clippers and Memphis. Now, I think this is a rematch from last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they faced each other. If not last year, then the year before last. I honestly can't remember. But in this series, I had the Clippers. And it's funny because I got to give Memphis props. Because I thought once Rudy Gay left, they would kind of fall off. But they actually put in work. But I'm going to have the Clippers moving on. You know, the Clippers have a deep team. In a way, the Clippers are kind of stacked. Because they have pretty good players at every position. Which is kind of rare to see. They have pretty good players almost every position. You know, the bench too. The bench is pretty deep. So I'm going to have the Clippers moving on. Going down to Denver versus Golden State. Now, this is probably going to be a great series, in my opinion. I love this matchup. It just seems like a fun matchup. Both of these teams kind of remind me of FGCU, especially Denver with Kenneth Faried, Andre Iguodala, and Golden State has Steph Curry, who has been playing great this year. He didn't get into the All-Star game even though he deserved it. But I actually have Denver moving on. I can't say why. I just think that they'll play better. And Steph Curry, it all depends on how he shoots. And that's the thing, man. With three-point shooters, I don't really trust them. Like people like Steph Curry and J.R. Smith. Just players with a great offensive game. I don't really trust them because sometimes they're inconsistent. One day they're hitting, one day they're missing. So I might actually have Denver moving on. Now, San Antonio versus LA. Oh, man. Because I know most people are saying, oh, this is San Antonio. They're going to move on. But I don't know because I'm glad that the Lakers got the 7th seed. They needed that because OKC would have messed them dudes up like last year. And San Antonio, they actually have a chance against San Antonio. When Kobe went out, the Lakers started playing better defense. The Dwight Howard's been beasting. Paul Gasol's been doing all right. Steve Blake, a.k.a. the White Mamba's been going ham. Jody Meeks, he shoots too much. He shoots everything. Ron Artest, he can be pretty good. His defense isn't the same to me. But the Lakers have a chance versus San Antonio. Now, this is one of those toss-up matchups. I'm not really sure who to pick, to be honest, because Tim Duncan, he's always good. Tony Parker's, he's good. I think Manu is injured, but I think he will be back. But even if he comes back, he's going to be a little rusty. Kawhi Leonard is a baller. So these teams, San Antonio, LA, I actually think they match up. Even if you look at the regular season series, the Spurs won that series, but all the games were close. So it's kind of hard to tell. I think I'm going to pick San Antonio here. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers won also. And I also think that whoever wins this match is going to the conference finals. That's just how I see it. So moving on, I wasted too much time. OKC versus Clippers. Another great series. I love the West, man. I have OKC moving on. When Blake Griffin struggles, the Clippers sometimes seem to struggle. I'm not down in CP3. I like CP3, but just Blake Griffin and Ibaka and Perkins getting rough with them. Blake Griffin don't like to get rough with people, and that's what makes him struggle. So that's why I have OKC moving on to the conference finals. Next is Denver and San Antonio. Another good series. Regular season series was tied. But I just think San Antonio is going to pull it out. In the West, I like San Antonio to go to the conference finals. But like I said, man, if Lakers get past the first round, they're going to the conference finals. So conference finals is going to be OKC versus either San Antonio or Lakers. That's how I see it. Like I said, I just don't want to count the Lakers. I know a lot of people are doing it because their season. But if you look at the record after the All-Star break, they did pretty good. You know, they got everything together, and also Steve Nash might come back too. So, like I said, man, if the Lakers can get out the first round, they can go deep in the playoffs. I just want to point that out. But as for now, I have the Spurs in the conference finals versus OKC. And I think OKC is going to take it again. OKC, they did their thing versus San Antonio last year. 4-1 series. I think they only lost the first game, which San Antonio demolished them. But OKC, they're a good team, man. A lot of people get on Russell Westbrook, which they should. But he's a good player. He just makes a lot of mistakes. And Kevin Durant is a good player also. Now, I know a lot of people are going to bring up, James Harden. And maybe James Harden was the reason OKC got really far. But I remember last year in the conference finals and NBA finals, James Harden kind of disappeared, didn't he? I'm not really sure on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I just think OKC is still, they're not as good without him, but they're still a great team without James Harden. So in the NBA finals, I'm predicting a rematch. Heat, OKC, and I'm sorry, man. I think this is just the Heat's year again. Like I said, unless injuries happen, I think this is the Heat's year. Once again, I said the same thing. No, actually, I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I picked OKC last year, but this year I picked the Heat to win the NBA Finals. So in the West, like I said, it's wide open. Honestly, these are just my predictions. I honestly believe it's wide open, though. I think any of these teams can come out, maybe except Golden State. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I don't know. I just don't see them getting far. But every other team is pretty decent. But just look out for the Lakers, man. They had a bad season. Look out for them Lakers, yo. Anyways, I want to point out again that these are my opinions, my predictions. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.